Hey everybody, welcome back. My name is Jason. Today we'd like to talk about a very important topic, and that's overdoses. The reason that this topic is very important is because I've had a couple overdoses that happened to me. Fortunately, I lived through them, but sad to say, that doesn't happen for everybody. And there's a lot of people out there that use drugs that think that that won't happen to them. They think that they're special for some reason, and I would like to talk about the process of an overdose, and because when I used, I never looked at the process of an overdose. I never went through and seen what the body actually went through. But basically, there is no one circumstance that will push the body from a high to an overdose. But there are greater risks that will put you at having an overdose. So basically that's coming from a detox and returning to drug use, active drug use, and mixing drugs with, alcohol, multiple different drugs, and basically super powerful opioids such as fentanyl, carfentanil, and stuff like that. And then basically those are getting mixed with heroin and stuff like that nowadays. There's been a lot of cases of that being shown up in coroner's offices and stuff like that. It's getting scary out there. So a person having an overdose rarely realizes what's happening, because otherwise there wouldn't be as many overdoses, So signs to spot an overdose for somebody that's with, somebody using, are extreme drowsiness, cold hands, cloudy thinking, nausea, vomiting, slow breathing, and this could be like 10 breaths within a minute. So the process of an overdose is first the drug spreads throughout your body, whether you swallow it or inject it, and then it goes through synopsis, and then you goes through your heart into your lungs, gets mixed with oxygen, then back into your heart, then with the next pump goes all over your body. So when it hits your brain, you get that happy feeling, that pleasure. And I know I felt that numerous times, and it scares me thinking back on that. But after that blood enters that section of the brain, that center part of your brain is called the limbic system, you get that surge of dopamine, and you feel that bliss, and then you start to nod off, and then your head starts jerking, and then you go waking and sleeping. Your breathing starts to slow, because the opioid works on the system that controls both sleeping and breathing. And with the opioid ingestion, your breathing starts to become dangerously low, and it could lead to your breathing to stop. Then your heart becomes slow, and as the opioid suppresses your neurological system, your signals become all messed up basically, and then the oxygen levels fall, and this is, man. And then your heart basically becomes, your heart basically beats abnormal. And then some people basically just go into cardiac arrest then and die. Things begin to shut down. I remember my doctor telling me that my kidneys were shutting down. further along, I'll talk about lungs aspirating, but you know, my kidneys are shutting down, but this is due to overwhelming amounts of opioid in the brain. So your lungs and heart are barely working at this time, and with the lack of oxygen to the brain, most of the brain damage sets in within 4 minutes. Then basically you start to foam or choke, and this is caused by fluid in the lungs. And you also become less conscious. And you know, you can't secrete or eject or even swallow, or you can't eject or swallow the secretions in the back of your throat. And that's what you call the death rattle. So your brain gets permanently damaged, and this can cause seizures from the lack of oxygen to the brain, which you can lead to being paralyzed or unable to speak. And so, you know, people always say, oh, overdoses will never happen to me. I'll be able to spot it. I got buddies, and when overdoses happen, you know, I have a friend that did overdose, you know, and they left that person for dead. They freaked out, and that happens a lot. You know, you think these people that you're with will help you out, but when that situation happens, they'll leave you for dead, because all they care about are the drugs. Because think about, in your situation, all you care about is getting high, right? If it wasn't for people around me, like family, I'd be dead. If it wasn't for my wife at the time, my ex-wife, and her waking up in the middle of the night, I'd be dead. I'd be dead. If it wasn't for my mom coming down in the basement for some reason, I'd be dead. I wouldn't be here right now. And people think they're invincible. And you know what? If you're not even getting high anymore, and if you're just using drugs to function, to feel normal, then what's the point? What's the point? If you're not having fun, what's the point? You know, you're just stressing yourself out, causing pain, misery to yourself, to family, friends. What is the point? You know, there is life after using. And it really is wonderful. And there's ways to deal with emotions. You know, there's ways to deal with emotions. Everybody has problems. Believe me. There is a new drug out. It's called Gray Death, and it's heroin, fentanyl, carfentanil, and a synthetic opioid called U47700. And if you use it a single time, you can die. And Narcan doesn't even reverse the effects. So you can take your chances if you want. I'm glad I got out of the game. I'm glad I got out of the game. You know, my family knows a firefighter, and he says that he's been coming across, you know, people that or he has been coming across this where he has been applying Narcan and it hasn't been effective. And this has been in the Wisconsin area. So, you know, it's your call. I mean, this stuff is gonna make it all over, and you can think, oh, my dealer ain't gonna do that. My dealer's my guy. We're tight like that. You can tell yourself whatever you want. But where he's getting it from, do you know that guy? Do you know where that guy's getting it from? Do you know what he's mixing it with? Do you have a little test kit that shows what the hell's in it? Or no, are you so dope sick at the time you don't give a shit that you just mix it up, shoot it up, sniff it up, that you don't care? Because I know that's how I was. I didn't give a shit. I didn't give a shit who I hurt to get the money. I didn't care. My reasoning was gone. I didn't care what I said to people to get what I wanted in order to go get my bag. But you know what? I know I was sick of feeling that way too. But I look back now and I'm glad I'm out of that. So glad I'm out of that. Feels good. Feels wonderful. And I don't have to go back. And I do not have to go back. I've been through relapses. But I know what I need to do in order not to now. You know. So the game's getting dirty out there. It's getting worse. The game's getting worse. It's frightening. People don't give a shit. All they want is their money. And then if you sit there in front sacks and have dealers call in, and oh man, there's so much agony and stress, and it's just no fun. It's no fun no more. It's not fun. You know. And then a little bit more information on carfentanil. It's 100 times more potent than fentanyl. It's 5,000 more times potent than a unit of heroin. And it's 10,000 more times potent than morphine. And that's the stuff that's working its way into heroin now. And then there's also remifentanil. There's so much crap getting mixed into heroin now. It's just scary. You never know what you're getting. You may think, because he's your guy, right? Your boys, right? You never know. And you know what? You might think it's all good because this batch was good. You never know how that shit's mixed. You might shoot up one time and it's all good because that other half might be a little stronger this time. And bam, it's over. It's over, son. So it's passive suicide. you know, every time you want to play with your life, and then if you're mixing it with other drugs, if you're speedballing, man, it's so dangerous. But I'm gonna leave it at here and just think about it, let it marinate. But stay blessed, and yeah, thank you for watching.